Welcome into the New Orleans Saints podcast. You'll hear from players, coaches, broadcasters, and writers that cover the NFL on a daily basis. The New Orleans Saints podcast starts right now. Here's your host, Erin Summers.
Welcome into the New Orleans Saints podcast. I'm Erin Summers. The Saints added some depth to their secondary, re-signing two players from last year's squad, in Safeties Johnathan Abram and Ugo Amadi. Both players stepped up during the season when called upon. Abram played in 9 games last year, starting in 3. He had 24 tackles, 1 interception, a pass defense, and a forced fumble. The interception, forced fumble, pass defense, all were career firsts and all came against Tampa Bay on December 31st. Amadi played in every game last season, predominantly on special teams. In 8 contests, he saw time on defense in various roles. I caught up with Abram and Amadi as they signed their new contracts this week. Johnathan, thanks for joining me on the New Orleans Saints podcast. Welcome back.
Glad to be back.
It was a little uncertain. Are you happy that you finally got to sign and you're back as a Saint?
Yeah. I'm super happy to be back home. Another year, Super Bowl in New Orleans, so hopefully, we're in the Super Bowl in New Orleans.
Yeah, that would be really nice, wouldn't it?
Best home game of the year.
Well, last year, it was a little bit of a process for you to earn that starting time, and you took advantage of the opportunity when you got it. Looking back on last season for you, how did you make the most of it?
It was a blessing in disguise, Learned a lot about myself, learned a lot about, the team and everything. Learned how to be a better teammate, didn't expect to come here and be the guy on the sideline cheering guys on, with the notebook, trying to do everything I can to make sure, they tried to make every play possible, but it ended up paying off in the long run. And so, essentially ended up, learning a lot of football in the process, studied a lot of film, got to spend a lot of time with my family and everything. So, it all worked out, God has a funny way of doing things. And so just when I got my opportunity, done everything to try to make sure I've done everything to take full advantage of it. And, so it paid off and, now I'm back.
Can we talk about your favorite game of the season? What one was it?
Tampa Bay.
Obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, that was pretty insane. Do you remember your stats?
Yeah, I had 1 forced fumble, 6 tackles, and interception. I should have had a pick 6. I fell down. Golly.
You did.
I did. I fell down. The first thing I said when I got up was like, God, there's no way you let me fall.
You also had a pass defense. So
yeah.
You just completely showed out in that game. I know we talked about it in season, but looking back on it now, what was different about that game playing there for you?
Honestly, just because it was the moment I had been waiting for kind of all year, I got a chance to kind of play against the Patriots, We had a really great game. We ended up, beating them 34-0, and then so kind of just, I thought that would be the one, but from there, when I kind of went back to the practice squad, and so finally when I was up for Tampa Bay and he told me I was starting, I was like, oh yeah, this is the one. So, just I knew I had to do everything to kind of take full advantage and kind of display and show them what I had. So, and it all ended up paying off, and then, we ended up putting the hurt on the Falcons the week after, so.
Yeah, that was a pretty impressive win as well.
Yeah.
Coming into this season, now that you have signed, you're going to be here, have you talked to the coaching staff at all? I don't know how much conversations have been had of what your position is going to look like on this team.
I mean, essentially, it doesn't really matter with me. I mean, we've kind of had a conversation. I mean, essentially, now with, Marcus gone, so, having a job to kind of, a role to kind of compete for the starting job, going to do everything in my power to try to make sure, I'm out there next to Ty and those guys. And so try to start the season off and play the season kind of how we finished it. We finished strong, so kind of start off the same way and kind of keep it rolling.
They brought Tyrann back, too.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's been blowing me up. He's been asking me. He's going to be so excited. I got to call him. He's been asking me when am I going to sign him and Demario. So, I got to kind of relay the news to those guys before the media puts it out. So hopefully they don't beat me to it, because otherwise they'll be mad at me.
Oh, I think it's out.
Oh, snap.
You brought up Demario also. I used to see you guys in the locker room talking a lot, having some what looked like pretty deep conversations.
Yeah.
What is your relationship like with him?
Man, amazing. Demario, he's a Mississippi guy as well, but, Demario helped me learn a lot about myself. Demario's a very deep guy, very powerful with his words, and, his actions kind of follow suit. So, he's very influential, I would say. I told him I haven't really had many mentors in my life or people that I actually admired or looked up to, but he was one of the first people that I could, and I actually kind of tried to tell him and kind of more so give him his flowers every day, and just tell him, I'm appreciative and proud to kind of be around you because, you were teaching me a lot about not only myself, but about God and just kind of how to live in my true living and meaning as a man. So, the relationship is continually ongoing. We continuously check on each other and just try to make sure, our families and everybody are good, mentally, spiritually, and everything. So, I'm very, very appreciative to call him a friend.
How glad are you to be able to run it back with Tyrann and Demario?
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to get out there with 5. That's my boy, So, it's like magic when we out there together, because, we've all played a lot of ball and, we all communicate at a very high level. And so, when we out there, it makes things a lot easier, if we go back and you go look like at the Tampa Bay game, if you go look at what Mike Evans said, he said we were a very loud defense, we communicate a lot. So, it makes it very easy playing with those guys. And so you play faster, you play more downhill, we play more with more anticipation. And so in both of those games pretty much every game that we played together, we had 4 turnovers per game, the Patriots, the Buccaneers, and the Falcons. So it's 12 turnovers a game. So if we can kind of keep that rolling, I can only imagine what the stats will look like at the end of the year for pretty much all of us as a team and what the win column would look like. So.
Yeah, that was an area that was emphasized last preseason, and it definitely translated into the season. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this defense can continue to do this year.
Yeah, especially when we add in some pieces.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the pieces.
Got old Willie Gay, got a former dog up in here.
Yes, you do.
State. And then we just signed Chase Young. So pass rush up front, because they say rush and coverage go together. So I'm excited to see kind of what it all looks like when we bring it all together.
So you obviously playing college ball with JT Gray as well. So you guys get Willie Gay in here. What is your relationship like with Willie?
Oh, my God. I love Willie. Willie is kind of like the young book of the class because kind of coming out, it was, me, JT, all of us together. And so Willie was like the little young pup that came in that was just kind of very pestering and annoying. And he was just like, he wanted to be an old head and just like, Willie, you're a freshman. But
your time will come.
Your time will come, but Willie was always a hard worker, and, he always kind of stuck his head in there and just kept fighting away at it. And so, being that way, he earned a lot of respect from all of us. And so over time, he's kind of done his own thing and had made his own name within the league. He's won 2 Super Bowls with the Chiefs, so, can't take that from him, so super proud of him and so super glad to have him on my team.
Yeah, he said he was looking forward to rejoining you and JT. I'm sure you guys have had a lot of conversations about it.
Yeah, because Willie's a dog, and, man, that's the one thing, you can't take away from anybody. When you're a dog in this league, it shows and within your play, and then it's contagious. And so just to have more of that on the field with us, so I can only imagine seeing him, Pete, and Demario, all of them out there playing downhill. It's going to be a scary sight to see.
There's been a lot of change on the offense, though, too.
Yes.
Is the defense fired up about that?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, only thing is, but I mean, how I say defense win championship and offense sell tickets. So hopefully they sell us out every week and we're going to get us all the way where we need to go to the last game of the year.
All right. I like that. Willie talks about how he's kind of a country boy from Mississippi, just like you. How's everything going?
Everything's great. So down at the ranch every day, messing with the horses. I actually got a horse show this weekend we're going to go up to in Germantown, Tennessee. So just trying to get everything squared away, just enjoying the country life.
So what goes into a horse show?
A lot of work. A lot of riding, a lot of groundwork as far as the horses, a lot of care as far as, brushing them, making sure they look up to par, transportation, clothes. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Okay, so forgive my ignorance here. You don't ride them, do you, during the show?
Yes.
So you're actually in it too?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have to dress up. So then they have certain types of shows. So like they have what they call like road shows where essentially it's about basically like fast horses. But this show is kind of more like a ring. So it's about, the stylish horses, who looks the best. They have like the best dressed rider. So, you have to wear like a suit and everything. So it's a lot that goes into it. And so essentially we're going to do one later on in the year around May before we come back. It's like an amateur roadster show. So it's essentially a horse on a bike. So we're showing like trotters on the bike in the ring. So basically a stylish horse pulling the buggy.
Oh, not on a bike.
It's a horse bike. It's a buggy. It pulls the buggy. It pulls the buggy.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's called a horse like a bike. You can call it a buggy or a bike, either one.
Okay. Because when I think about horse, I think of horse racing, and the jockeys are tiny, and that's not quite you.
Yeah, no, so that's more so like thoroughbred. So you have different types of horses. So like you have the saddlebreds, which they have their own like world-class shows and everything. You have the trotters, which they race on the track. The pacers, which they race on the track. Then they have the trotters, which they show on the bike to be stylish. They do everything where if they do it on the bike, they do it on the back as well.
Can I get some pictures of this?
Of course.
I would love that. Okay, great. Who do you have here with you today?
So today I have my fiancée Lady with me and my brother Terrence.
And they're here to just watch you sign the paper?
Yeah, just here to watch me sign the paper, just to be my moral support, My family's kind of everything for me, so, kind of the reason why I come do what I do.
I hate to put you on the spot here with your fiancé in the room, but is there a date? Do we know when this is going down?
No, we don't, but I've been saying 5/5/25.
Okay.
That's next year.
And she's saying, like, that's so soon. It's like, it's so much to plan. And I'm just like, yeah, 5/5/25. I'm like, figure it out.
I mean, are you going to have any input at all?
No, I don't really need much
Just the
input.
date, and
I just
that's
got to
it.
show up.
Yeah.
I just got to show up. That's it,
That is a lot to put on her.
Yeah.
But I guess you did the first part because you got yourself secured a job for another year.
Hey, that's all that matters.
So, yeah.
And then so get another opportunity to kind of go out and prove myself and go get another job.
Exactly. Well, I always appreciate talking to you. It's awesome having you back on the team. I look forward to seeing you play here soon.
And I can't wait to be back. Who dat?
Ugo, thank you so much for joining me on the New Orleans Saints podcast. It's great to have you back. Welcome back. Are you excited?
Oh, yes. I appreciate this opportunity, too, as well. And I'm glad to be back in the city.
After last season, you got a few opportunities to step in various roles. How are you able to, now that you've kind of been able to step back and look at the season overall, how are you able to make the most out of those opportunities?
The way I was able to make the most of those opportunities was just putting my best foot forward. The opportunities were very slim. Reflecting back on that season, I did the most that I could, and I was very pleased with it. And I'm gonna have that same momentum going into this next season and doing even more.
There are a few players that have moved on from the Saints, having you back, having Johnathan Abram, Tyrann Mathieu coming back. It's adding a little more depth to the secondary there. How do you see your role on this team next year?
I see my role just doing multiple things, being versatile, and being in the system for another year makes me more comfortable, and the coaches can rely on me knowing what to do and being able to play any position at any time. And, injuries happen. They need a guy to step in right away, So I feel comfortable with it going into next season situations.
Yeah, you played in every single game last year, predominantly on special teams, but then you also were able to play some at safety, slot corner. So you really were all over the place. How are you able to excel in so many different roles?
The way I'm able to excel in different roles is just knowing what to do and being available. And once I have those two things, just being available and knowing what to do, I can really do anything, and having confidence in yourself is another big thing as well, knowing that you can believe in yourself and getting the job done because your best is the team's best.
Any one that you like better than the other? Any position?
No, as long as I just love ball. So wherever I'm at on the field, I'm good.
Yeah, as long as you can check in, you're good to go.
Yes, ma'am.
What are you looking forward to about being with this team this upcoming season?
What I'm looking forward to is picking up where we left off. I feel like we started off hot, and then towards the end of the season, we started really believing that we can really be something, be special, and getting back with this group. That's the reason why I wanted to come back. I feel like we didn't capitalize our full potential, and I feel like going into this next season, we can definitely do that. We have the guys on both sides of the ball, and we got the coaches to get it done too as well.
Well, what are you going to do this offseason in order to make sure that you come here ready to go?
What I'm going to do, most importantly, is take care of my body. That's first and foremost, take care of my body, making sure that I'm in shape, making sure that I'm doing the things I need to do in order to be successful on the field, doing my workouts, eating right, make sure I'm on top of my body the best that I can.
Anything fun planned? It can't just all be work.
Oh no, I took my son to Universal Studios. We had a good little family trip, just to relax, switch gears a little bit.
Yeah. How old is he?
Oh, he's 5 years old.
Oh, so he must have loved it.
Oh, he loved it a lot. He loved all that.
Yeah. I was looking back on some of your game day fits from this season, and I realized that you always have one accessory every single time. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, you talking about the bags?
Well, no, you always wear sunglasses.
Oh, yeah. I try to switch to the sunglasses, every now and then. The sunglasses are very key to an outfit. So I try to switch it up every now and then.
Because these pictures usually get taken inside, but you keep the sunglasses on.
Got to. The sunglasses really make the outfit pop, if you pick the right ones.
Do you start with the sunglasses or do you start with the outfit?
I start with the outfit, and I let the sunglasses talk to the outfit. You know what I mean?
Yes. Outside of football, doing stuff with your son, what do you like to do?
I like to bowl. I like to play poker. Me and my friends, we do that about every weekend. That's that's a new niche I got. And then I read books. I read a lot of books through the off season as well.
What genre of books?
I read a lot of self-help books, business books. I just got done reading Shoe Dog, Phil Knight's book. It was I went to Oregon. I just now read the book. I went to Oregon. But it was a great book. Like you said, it's a great book. So, and that's probably the most thing I do is read, and then I do bowling and all that other stuff for fun. Yeah,
my mom went to Oregon, so she made me read that book a couple years ago because she was like, "It's amazing." I was like, "I don't know. I feel like you might be a little biased, but it is actually." Yeah,
it's a great book, especially how Nike came about and all that. It's a really great book.
Yeah. Coming up with OTAs and everything like that, are you planning on being here with the team?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I definitely got to be there. And we have new faces too in the DB room as well, and then new guys on the O-line and receiver room as well. So I just want to build that camaraderie up.
How does that chemistry start with the team?
I feel like chemistry starts with the team just being around each other. With those workouts, just laughing, goofing off, and all that stuff. And I take it back to college days. Once you're around your guys all the time, you just start to build a sense of how people are, in certain situations. And your guy, that's your brother. Like, what he likes and doesn't like,
Mm-hmm. So Malcolm Roach usually played music in the locker room.
Yeah.
Since he has moved on from the team, who do you think should get the aux?
I mean, when Roach was, he was the DJ in the locker room. But I think Ty always did it too. So whenever Roach was in the locker room, Ty was always playing.
Yeah, because Tyrann was very quick to jump on social media and say that he was going to take over, and he got it.
Yeah, and I saw that too. But Ty always did it, so it won't be too much of a drop off. Because Ty always plays some good music as well. So he always had a bigger speaker than Roach did. So
really.
Yeah, he had the biggest. I remember he brought it in like a package. I think he brought it to a game too. I think it was when we played the Chargers or somebody. He traveled with that whole speaker too.
How's his music selection?
Great. He has great music. He has good music, but he's all over the place with it. He's good. Different type of genres and all that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, you're camping out in Tennessee for the summer?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. Getting to spend some time at home.
Yeah, with the family and all that. Seen some faces, seen some people I went to high school with, just rubbing in everybody.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, it's great to catch up with you. I'm excited to see you back here soon. And just congrats again on signing.
I appreciate you. Can't wait to get this thing rolling.
Yes. Appreciate the guys joining me on the podcast today. If you missed any free agency news, you can find it all on NewOrleansSaints.com. As for other things we'll be covering coming up, Tulane and LSU Pro Days next week. So we'll have all that for you as well. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening to the New Orleans Saints podcast. Join us 3 times per week on NewOrleansSaints.com, the Saints mobile app, or you can download the podcast on iTunes. We'll see you next time, right here on the New Orleans Saints podcast.